The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this right here, I'm actually pretty excited to talk about this because this is a fight that, if you've been on this channel, and if you've heard if you heard me talk about either one of these two fighters, you guys know that I think the world of these guys, the absolute world of both these fighters. All right, now. Scotland's very own Josh Taylor, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters there is in the entire sport, whether you know it or not. You know, he is. He's all that and a bag of chips, that Josh Taylor. He showed it already in his career. And there's still so much to go for him to show just how good he is. I don't think he's had those fight hits against the opponents that are really going to bring out the best in Josh Taylor. But it is coming, and it's going to start with the Jose Ramirez fight. Now, Josh Taylor was doing an interview recently with a channel by the name of Pro Boxing Fans. Shout out to him. He said, basically, in so many words, that Teofimo Lopez's ego has exploded and that he'd like to cut him down to size. Basically, that he would like to humble him, give him a good slice of humble pie. Now, we'll get into it in a second. Let me read to you what he said in regards to Lopez. All right, here's what he said. He said, I quote, the Lopez fight is another fight that can happen. I'm not ruling it out, but I think he needs to defend his titles and forget about me for the minute. There's a lot of good fights at lightweight there that he can prove that he is the best and completely secure his legacy at lightweight. So yeah, again, that's another one that if he comes up, I believe I'll beat him as well. I believe I can beat him as well. It's funny how his ego's just exploded now, but I like to take him down and I like to cut him down to size. And then he basically just said that, you know, he basically just talked about his attributes and how he matches up with him, and it was good stuff. And obviously he said what most fighters say, that that he's gonna knock him out, and that he believes that if they fight fire with fire, that he has the bigger gun. So Josh Taylor is talking some real shit. And listen. I know a lot of times from the American perspective, we look at these European fighters like from the UK and Scotland, and you know, anytime these guys get on a little winning streak and get some buzz, sometimes they come to the States and they show themselves to be hype jobs. And there's a lot of reasons for American fans to be skeptical of Josh Taylor, because he's fought most of his fights in Scotland. But listen, I'll say it like this, man. When we talk about the best fighters from that side of the pond, I know Tyson Fury is the guy that gets the headlines, and rightfully so, because I believe Tyson Fury is one of the is when it's all said and done, and the books are written and the chapters closed in his career, he's gonna go down as one of the best heavyweights in the world. But if we're talking about pound for pound skills, just who is the best fighter from Europe, from the UK, I think it's Josh Taylor. I truly think it's Josh Taylor. And like a lot of people, when it comes to Teofimo Lopez, they're talking about, you know, Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney and all these guys at 135, and rightfully so, because that's the weight class he's at. But for me, for my money, this fight right here between Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor is the fight. It is the fight to me, because I look at just Teofimo Lopez and the kind of fighter he is. You know, this is a guy that's in his career, in his young career, just looking at his last three fights, his last three wins, beating Nakatani, Richard Comey, and Lomachenko. He showed the ability to box with taller, rangier fighters like Nakatani, and he didn't look his best, but he still won the fight clearly. He fought Comey, a guy that was a hard puncher. He fought fire with fire, got him out of there, extinguished the fire quickly in 2 rounds. Then he fought one of the best amateur fighters and the best technical fighters this sport has ever seen in Vasily Lomachenko, and he outboxed him. So we've seen Teofimo Lopez show a complete skill set. And the same can be said for one Josh Taylor. You know, Scotland has produced some great fighters in the past, you know, most notably the great Ken Buchanan. And call me crazy, and you people out there in Scotland might think I'm crazy, but I think Josh Taylor, when it's all said and done, he's gonna go down as a better fighter than Ken Buchanan, and that's high praise. But I really think that much of him, that he will go down as just as good of, if not a better fighter than Ken Buchanan. I mean, he's that damn good. He is Josh Taylor. We've seen him in his career. We've seen him outbox people. We've seen him win dogfights. We've seen him stop people with body shots. We've seen him, you know, throw flurries. We've seen the whole kitchen caboodle from Josh Taylor. And I look at both of them I look at Lopez as a complete fighter who really hasn't even shown the best of himself, because I believe he's really cutting a lot of weight down to get to 35. So I believe by the time he goes to 140, sees a guy like Josh Taylor, he's going to be the best version of himself. And that's going to make the fight even better, you know? And to me, I look at Lopez versus Josh Taylor as one of those legacy fights. And speaking as somebody who was a staunch, I'm a diehard fan of both these fighters. Like these are two guys that whenever they fight someone, I'm going to be rooting for them because I like both of them that much. Josh Taylor, to me, is one of the stylistic toughest matchups for Teofimo Lopez, in my humble opinion. Because of the fact that he's got punching power in both hands. He's long, he's rangy, he's a southpaw. He can box on the inside, he can slug it out, he can box on the outside, he's got hand speed. He's got a lot of tools in that toolbox. He's got a lot of answers to any question Teofimo Lopez answer. And I just see that fight as such a high-level fight. And, you know, Lopez said he had no problem kicking some Scottish ass. Taylor's saying that he wants to cut him down to size and give him some humble pie. So, like, look, I mean, everybody's talking about Lopez versus Haney. Everybody's talking about Lopez versus Tank. Everyone's talking about Lopez versus Ryan Garcia. And they're going to talk about these fights. But while they're talking about these fights, to me, this is the only fight that I can think of is Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez. It's that damn good of a fight. It's one of those fights that, in my opinion, the boxing game needs. You know, the boxing game needs this fight. You know, because we got Teofimo Lopez, who, as far as I'm concerned, at 135, I don't think anybody's beating him. I don't think Devin Haney's going to beat him. I don't think Garcia's going to beat him. I don't think that any of these guys are beating him. And I mean, the guy with the best chance to beat him, in my opinion, is a guy he already fought, Nakatani. I think Nakatani would give a Lopez a tough fight, you know, again. And that could be a tough matchup for him. But I'm kind of like, I don't want to rush Teofimo Lopez's career. I want him to enjoy his time at 135, but I know the end is near for him at 135. And I'm really anticipating that move up to 140 because a lot of people have questions about if he's going to be able to punch and punch with those big boys up to that 140. And I don't think that's going to be a problem. You know, I don't see it as a problem at all. If anything, I think it'll be the opposite of what it was in 135. I think his punch resistance will be better. I think his power will be better. And I think he's going to he's going to be maturing into a more well-rounded, more confident, more self-assured fighter at 140. And that's the kind of fighter I want to see against a guy like Josh Taylor, a guy like Teofimo Lopez, an explosive boxer puncher who can slug it out with explosive, fast twitch muscles to beat you on the front foot, beat you counter punching, and beat you just in so many different ways. And to see a guy like that against a guy like Josh Taylor, I mean, if that fight is pay-per-view and they charge me $90, I'd pay for it. It's one of the only fights in boxing that if they overcharge me $90, $100, I'd pay for it. Because those two fighters right there are creme de la creme, top shelf. You know, they're the best at what they do in their respective weight classes. And I know a lot of people are talking about Ramirez, but I mean, listen, by the time Josh Taylor gets done with Ramirez, you guys are gonna really, if you don't respect Josh Taylor already, you're gonna have to really put some respect on his name after that Ramirez fight. But that's what Josh Taylor said about Teofimo Lopez. He wants to come down to size. He wants to humble him. He wants to fight him. He thinks he can beat him, of course. And Lopez has already been talking about Taylor. So this is a future fight for Lopez to look at. And it might not be as far away as you guys think so. I'm going to leave it at that. You guys can leave your comments down below for the American fans and the Scottish fans and all the boxing fans around the world. Just let me know what you think in the comments, Lopez or Josh Taylor. Let me know how and why. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.